Hi, I'm Bharat Bhushan, your host. Today we are going to discuss about PTE speaking describe image template and vocabulary with examples to score high 79 plus. Right guys, so this is a very important question type for speaking section, very high weightage marks question type in your speaking section. If you prepare for this particular question type, definitely you'll get high weightage marks in your PTE exam. So today I'm going to describe you all the required vocabulary for this particular question type and what should be the format, how you should start your explanation of the image and how you should progress in your describing and how you should end up that. And for that you should have good amount of vocabulary which can be useful for this particular question type. So be with me in this video till end to know all the vocabulary list, example and the template for this question type. Please like and subscribe my channel Bharat Bhushan for more PTE videos. Click on bell icon for more updates. Please go and watch all the videos for PTE exam to know the best strategies to score high in your PTE exam for all sections: reading, writing, listening, speaking. Right guys, so I prepared very nice videos for all these strategies for all these sections. So please go and watch all those videos and subscribe my channel and share with your friends so that they also can be benefited to score high in your PTE exam. Alright, so PTE speaking describe image vocabulary. So first of all, before starting this video, you should please note this thing in your mind. To make your command over describe image section in the initial practice stage, you should explain the graph as much as you can, no matter if it is cross the 40-second limit for this particular question type. The maximum we will learn to explain and graph will help you to speak continuously for 40 seconds in your final exam. After practicing for few days, you can reduce the time to 40 seconds. Initially you can go beyond 40 seconds, but finally you should conclude your speaking into 40 seconds only. So first vocabulary list I'm going to share with you to increase pattern. Right guys, so particular image will be having a graph which will going upwards. So increase pattern vocabulary you can use: climb for past climbed, go up past went up, grow past grew, increase past increased, jump past jumped, rise rose, rocket rocketed, upsurge upsurged, incline inclined, shoot up. So these are the important words for the increase pattern. Guys, please practice at your home with all these words because you will be having 4 to 5 images, sometimes more than 4 to 5. So you should use different vocabulary with each and every image, which will help you to get high score in your PTE speaking section. Next is your increase pattern example. So I shown you the particular list of words for the increase pattern. Now I'm showing you the example. So sentence example using word that shown an upward trend. The number of enrollments increased significantly between 2005 and 2010. Another example is production rose from 800 units in May to 1000 units the following month. Likewise, you can practice at your home. So now second thing is your verbs to describe a downward trend. I've shown you some upward trend words and now I'm showing you some downward trend. The following verbs can be used to describe a trend or pattern that goes down. So words like decline, declined, decrease, decreased, drop, dropped, fall, fell, go down, went down, plummet, plummeted, plung, plunged, and finally dropped. So likewise these words you can practice at your home for the downward trend. So downward trend example is prices of model X dropped significantly once model Y became available in the market. Second example is company profit decreased in 2013 by 15%. Word and phrases used to describe a stable trend. So we discussed about upward and downward trend. Now we are talking about stable trend. To describe a more or less stable pattern, you can use the following expressions. First is maintain, maintained, remain, remained, stay, constant, stable, steady, unchanged. So these are the words. You can practice these words at your home by writing some sentences by using these different words and speaking those different sentences. So that kind of practice you have to do at your home so that they come naturally on your tongue in the real exam. So you should be very good in practicing all these words. Now we'll talk about adverbs used when describing trend. Adverbs play very important role while you speaking or writing. So you have to be very careful to use adverbs in speaking section. Adverb describe how something happened. They usually come after a verb. For example, sharply, rapidly, quickly, steeply, considerably, significantly, substantially, steadily, gradually, moderately. If you use these kind of adverbs in your speaking section, then definitely it will really help you to grow your marks, grow your grade in your PTE exam. Now we'll talk about some nouns used when describing trends. So like decline, decrease, dip, drop, fall, fluctuation, growth, increase, peak, the highest point, rise, slump, a severe or prolonged fall, variation, a change or difference in condition, amount or level. You should use and you should practice these nouns in your speaking with describing different images. So images could be your a bar chart, a comparison image, particular trend, likewise. Template for describing image. Okay, so now we are going to talk about what should be the template to describe the image. This template you should practice at least 20-30 times at your home before taking the real exam, so that it should be natural, it should be spontaneous in your real exam. So first we'll talk about the introduction. You must have the introduction of your particular image. So introduction you can give for the graph charts, etc. in your particular exam. For example, introducing the topic, how you should introduce the topic. The graph shows, the table reveals, the chart displays, the diagram illustrates, some interesting fact concerning are revealed in the diagram. Severely key trends are revealed by the graph showing. Likewise, you should practice. You should not use one single line in each and every image. You should use different lines, different introduction lines in your different images. That will definitely help you to improve your marks. Now after introduction, we should introduce the first set of data. So particular image must have some particular data. Alright, so you should start with the most important first set of data, and that you can start with beginning with the let me begin by describing the likewise. We'll discuss these things in coming up example. So first of all, you should be aware with these phrases for different purposes. Now second set of data. Introducing the second set of data with different words like meanwhile, the shows that, as for the, it shows that, turning to the, it can be seen that. Likewise, you should practice at your home with different phrases. Now introducing the first major trend. So you give some introduction to the main points, first data point, second data point. Now introducing the first major trend. Alright, so there should be one trend or two trend or sometimes three trend of a particular image. So you should highlight those trends. So how you should highlight it? So first of all, it is clear that this kind of phrase you can use. Most noticeable of all, it can be seen that the first result worth pointing out is that. Likewise, you should use. Introducing lesser trend. So we talked about the higher trend, now we are introducing the lesser trend. So another trend that can be observed is that. It is also worth pointing out that. Also worth noting is that. So you should first highlight the bigger trend, then you should highlight the lesser trend. Now you should talk about exception to the main trend. There could be some exceptions. So how you should deal with the exceptions in your trend of the image. You can say like, however, this was not always the case. However, it should be pointed out that there was no one noticeable exception, however. Likewise, you should discuss the exceptions in particular image. For example, if a particular trend is going up for next 5 years, but for 1 year it goes down, then again it's going up. So that 1 year will become an exception. So you must notice that exception in your speaking section of describe image. Now template for describing image, comparing and contrasting. Sometimes you have two images and you have to compare that. So if you are comparing those images, so how you should start with that? So you should compare like similarly. If they are similar, then you can say similarly these two images are likewise. By contrast, if there is a contrast, a similar trend can be observed in something is something, the similar thing you can speak like this. The result of, however, reveal a markedly different trend. These kind of phrases you can use while comparing. Now adding figures. If you want to add some figure, for example, in 2017 iPhone sale was X billion, right? So likewise you should mention it. So how you can mention it? The figures were X and Y respectively. For example, 2017, 2018 are different respectively. So at X with Y, use node, use at when you mean the figure was. Use with when you mean something had. At with X and respectively. So this kind of vocabulary, this kind of phrases you should use while adding the figures to a particular chart or image. Concluding and summarizing. This is very important section, guys. So you have to conclude or summarize your particular image, because in PTE it looks for when you answering this question, describe image. So it is required there. So you have to conclude your speaking. So how you can conclude or summarize? To sum up, in summary, in short, overall, on the whole, the main thing that can be observed here is that. So this kind of phrases you can use to summarize your text, to summarize your speaking for describe image. That is again very important for your this particular question type. So likewise, guys, you have to introduce first, then introduce the main data points, then you have to go with the trend upward, downward, right? Then you have to mention your any deviation or any exception, then you have to mention your figures, and finally you have to conclude it with a nice summary. So this is the template. Now we am giving you some connecting word for describing image that will really helpful to finish one particular sentence and move to the next sentence. So how you should use those connecting words? For example, the graph shows, the graph represents as can be seen from the graph, as indicated by the graph. Likewise, these are different phrases you should use. However, in contrast, in comparison, after, before, until, in sum, to sum up, in concluding, in conclusion, from the graph, it can be safely conclude that we are safe in concluding that. So for conclusion, you can use these kind of phrases here, words here. Alright, so now we are going to discuss a particular example here. Alright, so three things are here: chart, population growth, total growth, natural increase, net international immigration, migration from 1978 till 2009. So this is the statics Canada Kensim table 0510004. So you should have 25 second, you will have 25 second in your real exam to read to notice the particular image, and after 25 second you have to speak for next 40 seconds to describe the image. So in 25 seconds you should notice the important things here, the pattern and the information what is giving it about. So this information is going for population growth, right? So one line is the green line is showing for total growth, then flat line is showing for natural increase growth, blue line, and then black line is for your net international migration. So you have to talk about all these three if possible, otherwise you have to put the important things here. How you can do this? Okay, so I'm giving the example how I did for this. All right. This graph shows the growth of the population in Canada from 1978 to 2009. It is taken from the website about statics in Canada. There are three graphs in the chart. The green graph shows the total growth of the population. The black one deals with the migrated people in Canada, and the blue graph shows the natural increase of the population. In 1988-89, there was an enormous growth. In the following years, the total growth went down to about 250,000 in 1999 and 98 and 99. From that time on, the Canadian population has been gradually growing again, although the natural increase slowed down. So we can say that the growth of the population in Canada is based on the migration. Alright guys, so this is the sample I prepared for you. So in this particular image I introduce it, right? I make an exception as well, right? I connected with the different words here, okay, and finally I give a nice conclusion as well with last line. So we can say the growth of the population in Canada is based on the migration. So likewise you have to practice at your home before going to the real PTE exam, and you should practice it with at least 50-60 images, different charts for this particular question type, because this is again a high weightage task which can help you to get good marks in your particular PTE exam. So you should practice a lot for this particular question type. Alright, so that's all guys for in this video. I'll try to give some important vocabulary and the template for this question type and one example. Sorry, this time I prepare only one example. Next I'll prepare with more example for this question type. I know you want more examples, so be with me on this channel Bharat Bhushan. Please like and subscribe and share with your friends. For more PTE updates, click on bell icon to get more latest update on this channel for PTE exam. Thank you guys.